So, question 35, parts 1 and 2. Okay. So, what we have here is question 1. And what we have is one, sorry, was it part 1 I'm doing or part 2? Part 2, sorry, part 2. Okay. N plus n times n minus 1 over 2 equals n into n plus 1 all over 2. When I'm doing these questions, there's a left-hand side and there's a right-hand side. If I take the left-hand side of the equals and put it on its own, I'm just going to multiply this out while I'm at it. N squared minus n all over 2. I have to make the left-hand side look like the right-hand side. How do I do that? What can I put underneath this one here? Or I could actually do. It's still n, isn't it? Join them together, and what type of fraction do I have now? N squared all over 2. What's 2n minus n? N. Factorize that. What do we have? N into all over 2. There you go. Not too bad, was it? Looks exactly like the one on the right. Okay, let's try part 5 now. 32, part 35, part 5. Now guys, once again we have the left hand side and we have the right hand side. I'm going to make the left hand side look like the right hand side. 1 over 2r minus 1 minus bracket 1 over 2r plus 1. How do we do that? Anybody tell me?
Make it one fraction.
Make a one fraction. How do you make a one fraction now?
Multiply bottom 2.
Multiply up and then multiply the bottom 2. So it's going to be 1 times 2r plus 1 minus 1 times 2r minus 1 all over 2r minus 1 2r plus 1. And what now, guys?
Change the signs and so on.
So 2r plus 1, and then what do you say there? Change those signs. Minus 2r plus 1 all over 2r minus 1 2r plus 1. And what happens to the 2r's? They cancel, okay? 1 plus 1, 2. 2 over 2r minus 1 2r plus 1. Okay, and that's it. Everybody happy with that? Any questions about that one? Remember, to do a fraction, you multiply the bottom 2 by each other. You bring the bottom left to top right, bottom right to top left. Okay, that's what you always do. Okay, moving on. Just going to take this off now. Moving on. There we go. Moving on. Evaluate the volume. Now, yesterday we did this with the x value in it, didn't we? Now the whole point of this question is to be able to do it without the calculator. Because sometimes, instead of the number 3, you're going to have a letter. And unfortunately for us, we can't do the letter in the calculator. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to try this without the calculator. What can we do here? 1 divided by, what can we turn 1 into? What can we divide 1, what can we change 1 into? 3 divided by 3. So 1 is the same thing as 3 divided by 3 plus 1 over 3. What does that turn into now, lads? 1 divided by 4 over 3. When you're dividing by 4 over 3, it's the same thing as multiplying by 3 over 4. What's 1 times 3 over 4?
3 over 4.
3 over 4. Now guys, we've now answered this part here, haven't we? Yeah. Go do the same thing again. You're going to have 1 divided by 1 plus 1 over 3 over 4. What do we do with the 3 over 4 again? Can anybody tell me? The 3 over 4? Cancel it out, bring it up, turn it upside down. This time it's 4 over 3. What's the number 1 in terms of thirds? 3 over 3. Yes?
Have we not done the one top as well? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we have done the 1 on top. My fault. The answer is 3 over 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry, that's 3 over 4, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. 1 plus 1 plus 3 quarters. Sorry, my bad. What can we change to number 4? What can we change this into? 1?
4 over 4.
4 over 4. And then it's going to be 1 divided by 7 over 4. What's 1 divided by 7 over 4? 1 multiplied by 4 over 7, which is 4 over 7. Now, take this full thing. Oh wait, not the full thing. This part here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And replace that with 4 over 7. Now you do your last question, which is going to be 1 divided by 1 plus 4 over 7. What can we change the 1 into? Then what do we get? 1 over 11 over 7. Bring it to the top. Turn it upside down. The answer is? Okay. How do you rate that question? I say it's very easy regards to a higher level question. Okay. And I did the 1 over x1 yesterday, didn't I? Okay. Okay. Show each of the following reduces to a constant and find that constant. 2 different ways of doing this question, okay? Now it's going to be difficult, okay? Now, I'm going to show you the hard way first. Let's see if we can do it the hard way. What's the hard way, what's the normal way of doing this to do a fraction? Remember I said a half plus a third. What's the usual way of doing it? Multiply the 2 of them, bring the 2 up to that one, bring the 3 up to that one. We're going to do the same thing here. It's going to turn into x minus 2 multiplied with 3 minus x plus 1 into x minus 3 all over x minus 3 and 3 minus x. Is everybody happy with that? Okay, I'm not going to multiply at the bottom for the time being. Okay? I'm going to multiply the top out. And what do we get?
So you not cancel something?
What would you suggest I cancel just out of interest?
The 2x minus 3's and 3 minus x.
So this is a good question to ask, right? So you're asking me to cancel this one here and this one here.
Yeah.
Now I can't do that. I'll tell you why. If I had this prime, 4 multiplied by 2, I don't know, plus 3 times 5. That is 23. I don't know, 23 over 2 times 3. Okay? See the way it's a plus, Brian?
Yeah.
The plus means you can't do that. So this answer would be 8 plus 15. That'd be 23 over 6, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Now you can't do that. And the reason why you can't do that is, what happens if I cross this 2 with this 2? And this 3 with this 3 here? What's my answer now? 4 plus 5, which is 9. The reason why it doesn't work is because of this plus here. If it was all multiplied, you could do what you're talking about. But it's not. So a plus or a minus in between the 2 brackets stops you from doing that. Is that alright?
Yeah.
Okay, does everybody understand that now? And if I was to write this question like this, 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5, see the way there's no pluses? Yeah? I could have a minus 5 in the bracket, that's okay. Alright, but the bracket means you're multiplying. And if I had that over 3 and 2, what could I do now? Now I can strike them off and get minus 20. Okay? But if there's a plus in there, or a minus, can't. Alright? Okay guys, I'll just go back to what I was doing there a second ago, okay? So what I did was I said 3 minus x multiplied by x minus 2 plus 1 times x minus 3 all over x minus 3, 3 minus x. I decide to multiply this out. We're going to get this 3x minus 6 minus x squared plus 2x and plus 1x minus 3 all over x minus 3, 3 minus x. Now, I'm just going to bring this up to the top here, and we're going to get minus x squared. Yeah? Minus x squared. How many x's do we have? Can anybody tell me? 2x, that's 3x. And 3x plus 3x? 6x. Okay? And what about the other one? Minus 6 minus 3 is? Minus 9. Okay. Now, this question has been a lot of hassle so far, hasn't it? It's been difficult. Now, can somebody tell me, I'm not going to do anything with the bottom for a minute. What happens if I take out minus 1? What's left over? If I take out minus 1, what's left over? Can anybody tell me? X squared minus 6x plus 9. Does everybody see that? If I'm going to multiply back in. Minus x squared minus 6x plus 9. And then what about the bottom is still the same? Now, when I factorise this part here, what can you tell me? What does that factorise into? Reference number is 9. It's going to be minus 3 and minus 3. Everybody agreed? So we're going to get minus 1 multiplied by 3, x minus 3, x minus 3, all over x minus 3 and 3 minus x. Now guys, what happens to the x minus 3's? Now, here's the interesting one. Multiply minus 1 by this and what do you get? Minus x plus 3. What's on the bottom? Are they the same thing? Is the top number the same as the bottom number? Yes. Answer is 1. Now, that was a lot of hassle, if you don't mind me saying. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you a really easy way of doing it now. Okay? Just a really easy way of doing it. At the very beginning, you recognize that this denominator here and this denominator here are the minus 1 version of each other. So an example would be, what you can do is you can multiply anything you want, top and bottom, and you don't change the value of that fraction, true? You multiply top and bottom by minus 1, what happens? You get minus 1 all over minus 3 plus x. And what's minus 3 plus x? Same thing as x minus 3. And this is what's on the other side? X minus 2 all over x minus 3. They're the same fraction, right? Do we have to do anything to the denominator now? Add them together and you're going to get x minus 3 all over x minus 3 equals 1. You tell me which way is easier. Do you understand by spotting that how much extra work you save yourself? Okay? Now, if I gave you a question like this, okay? If I gave you a question like this, what denominator would be the minus version of that one? So I'm putting in a mystery denominator here. What denominator is the minus version of this one?
Minus x minus 2.
Or 2 minus x. Do you see what we did? We multiplied with minus 1 and then you changed them around. What's the minus version of this one?
It'll not be minus 2 minus 6.
Oh, sorry, it's, yeah, it'd be minus 2 minus x. So what I have to do is one of them has to be minus. What about the minus version of this one? What's the minus version of that denominator?
2 minus 1.
2 minus 3x squared. Okay, now that you know how to get the minus version of stuff, what you know is about this denominator here and this denominator here.
Minus.
They're the minus version of each other, aren't they? Yeah? So what do we do with the second one? Multiply by minus 1 top and bottom. Okay? And what happens to the denominator of the second part? What does it turn into? 3x minus 2. And we can multiply this minus 1 by the minus 1 here. The minus sign. And we get plus x minus 1. Now what's the answer when we add these together? 5x plus x. Anybody? 6x minus 3 minus 1.
Minus 4.
All over 3x minus 2. Anybody suggest an answer for that? What can I do here next? Callum, any ideas? What can I do with the top? Huh? Top is double the bottom. And then cancel to get 2. Is that right? Let's do this one here. Now, what we have here is we're going to do part 2 for you, okay? Now, part 2. If I gave you a question a while back, alright, and I said something like this, let me see, 7/12. Lad, 7/12 plus, I don't know, 5/6, okay? We all know how to do this. We change 5/6 into 10/12 and we add them together. I want you to think of it from a different perspective, okay? So here's this perspective I want you to think of it from. Alright? I'm going to break 12 up into prime numbers. 3 by 2 by 2. Would you agree that's done the same way? Would you agree that that's, how do we say it? That's the same question at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm going to break 6 up into 3 multiplied by 2. Would you agree with that? Now, when you compare the two bottoms to each other, what is this bottom short of that bottom?
2.
2. So what we would have done was we would have said, you need a 2 and you need a 2. And then we would have said 10/12 plus, would have been 7/12 plus 10/12, and we would have got 17/12. Just wanted you to keep that in mind, the way I compared both of them to each other, okay? Go and try another one with us. 7/10 plus 5/12. Once again, what's the lowest common denominator between 10 and 12? Anybody care to wager a guess? 60. Okay? I'm going to show you another way how to do this. Break up 10 into its prime numbers. What's its prime numbers? Two numbers that will multiply to give you 10. I need two numbers. Stay clear in here. It's very important. Huh? 5 and 2. What about the 12? Break it into prime numbers for me. 2, 2 and 2, 2. What's it? 12? 2, 2 and 3. Yeah? Now, the answer is, the lowest common multiple is 60. Now here's how you do a comparison here. Okay? What I'm saying is they look at each other and go, look, oh, you have a 2, I have a 2. That's brilliant. I don't have a 5, but you have a 5. That means I'll borrow a 5, top and bottom. The other one goes, okay, you have a 3, I don't have a 3. I'll borrow a 3, top and bottom. What's the last thing I'm going to do here?
A 2.
A 2 to the left. I need a 2. Okay? If we did this the old school way, that would have been 42 over 60 plus, what's it, 25 over 60. Is that correct? Does this turn out to be the same thing? 2 times 7? 14. 14 multiplied by 3? 42. 5 plus 5? 5 multiplied by 5? 25. Same thing, isn't it? Except it's just broken up differently. Does everybody get that?
It's always so much quicker though.
I'm getting there. There's a point. Always a point. The other way is so much quicker and so much better. But when you come to these questions, then you don't understand. And that's what I showed you. Do you understand this here? Do you understand that the denominators look at each other and they just pick out from what the other denominator has that they don't have? Okay, so let me show you what's going on here. Okay? So, I'll do question 1 after all. In question 1, I factorise the bottom. I do a reference number of -6 and I get +3 and -2. Is everybody happy with that? X plus 3, X minus 2. Okay? And on the bottom what happens? I get -3 into X plus 3. Now remember what I said in the last question. The denominator on the right looks at the denominator on the left and picks out what it doesn't have. What does it not have? So, you can do X minus 2, top and bottom. And it's a much quicker question than multiplying all of the two of these by each other. Now do you understand the shortcut I was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay? So now you're going to get 5x minus 6 bracket x plus 3 x minus 2. Then you're going to multiply that into minus 3x. What's that going to be? Plus 6, isn't it? And then our answer is going to be 2x all over x plus 3 x minus 2. Are you happy enough with that? Okay guys, now the next one I want you to look at is, I'll do part 3. So what about part 3? What do you see in part 3? Can anybody tell me what to do in part 3? Is there anything we can do with this one? Is there anything we can factorize? Anything left? What does it have in common? X into 2x minus 3 minus 1 all over x. So guys, forget about the third one. Forget about the third fraction and just concentrate on the first two fractions. The first two fractions check each other out and they're basically saying, okay, the one on the left looks at the denominator on the right and goes, what do I not have that he has? What does he not have? X on top, X on the bottom. Problem solved. What about the one on the right? The one on the right looks at the one on the left and goes, the one in the middle and goes, what does he have that I don't have? 2x minus 3. And now all of a sudden they're all speaking the same language because they all have the same denominator. So what's this going to be? That's technically a -1, isn't it? Because that's the minus there gets transferred to the top. So on top we're going to have 5x minus 3 minus 2x plus 3 all over x into 2x minus 3. And what happens next? 3's cancel. And we're going to have 3x over 2x minus x times 2x minus 3. Anything else cancel? Anything else cancel? What about the x's? That x here and that x here. Okay, sorry, just give me a second, Brian. Brian's having a disagreement, which is alright. This is what we need to do. Now, Brian, I'm allowed to cross off this x here. I'm allowed to cross off this x here with this x here. Can I explain why? The x here is being multiplied by everything on the bottom. Yeah? And this x is being multiplied by everything on the top. That means you're allowed to cross them off.
Yeah.
But I couldn't cross off this x with that x. Why am I not allowed to cross off this x here? Because it's not being multiplied by everything on the bottom, is it?
No.
That 2x is not getting multiplied by that minus 3. Okay? So therefore the answer is going to be 3 over 2x minus 3. Would you like me to do one more of this? One more of 38 or leave us to it? How much time do we have left? Pretty much done now, are we?
Yeah.
Okay. Not going to have time, so guys, for homework tonight, didn't even get close. What questions did I do today, Dara?